Hello, everybody, and welcome to That's Football. It's the Champions League watch-along. I'm ready. I hope you're ready. I'm very, very excited about these games tonight and tomorrow night. So make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Manchester City against Bayern Munich. Manchester City, can they finally win a Champions League against Bayern Munich? Well, they won't win a Champions League tonight. For one, it's the quarterfinals, and for two, it's over two legs. But against Bayern Munich, my tip to do this. Look, I've got to say that I don't want Man City to win tonight, but I think there's a real danger that they do win tonight because they are in fantastic form. And I think that I like red. I quite like the reds. Did we go red for Bayern? I was going to go light blue for City because they're at home. Or should we go purple, which is a combination of both? What do we think? What are we going to go with? Do purple. A lot of people saying red. We're going red. We're going red. Sorry, City. We're going red for Bayern. There we go. We support Bayern. Look, nobody supports Man City, so it's not like we're picking on them. But they've got a great chance tonight, and I think that we're going to see a really interesting game. I did the preview on the channel a little bit earlier, and I think this is such an intriguing game. There's the team news for you going round on the screen, which I'll cover in a moment. But it's such an intriguing game because both teams love possession. So it's at the Etihad. Do Man City dominate possession? Do they dominate the opposition? Do we end up in a situation where Man City just beat them 3 or 4-0 and kill the tie in the home leg? Can Bayern take it back there? Could they take it back there with a draw or even a win? I think it's massively intriguing. I've got to be honest, if I had to bet on this, I had to bet on a winner, it would be the Man City scenario, that they will be better. But I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. There's the Bayern team, but let's go through the Man City team first. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe and get involved. So Edison in goal, Aki, Diaz and Akanji. Then it's Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Grealish. And then he's got Haaland and Bernardo Silva, John Stones playing as well. So the back four is basically Stones, Aki, Diaz and Akanji. Then he's got Rodri, Gundogan and De Bruyne. And then it will be Grealish, Bernardo Silva with Haaland. He's going for possession there, isn't he? I think people like Alvarez and Mahrez are always unlucky when they're not involved. But I look at that Man City bench now, and I don't think it's that good. I mean, just, looking at the Man City bench, Walker, Phillips, Laporte, Ortega, Alvarez, Gomez, Mahrez, Peroni, Carson, Palmer and Lewis. A lot of young players there. Now look at Bayern. Sommer, obviously Neuer's injured. Sommer, Pavard, Upamecano, De Ligt, Davies, very good back four. Kimmich, Sane, Goretzka, Musiala, Coman, Gnabry, Mane on the bench. Sarr, Cancelo, who can play. Cancelo can play on the bench. Blind, Muller, Ulrich, Schenk, Gravenberch, Tell, Mazraoui, Stanisic. So I think that the squad of Bayern Munich is arguably better. But Judd says it's a back three with Stones as a defensive midfielder. Okay, well, we'll see if that actually happens. Evening Mark would love it if Cancelo plays and scores against City. Well, he's on the bench, Warrior. And Mark, if Man City win the Champions League, do you think Pep quits, particularly with the possible issues on the horizon with City, says Alexander? I don't think he'll quit. No, because if he does quit and they get done, he still goes down as a cheat, doesn't he? So I think Pep's got to. I think Pep, in fairness to Manchester City, I think Pep Guardiola has to believe that they've not done anything, and he has to stick by them, because whether he walks after a Champions League or not, if Man City did get into trouble for those charges, they'll always be called cheats anyway. So he's got to believe and he's got to stay. I don't think Pep will leave Man City. Also, I think Pep Guardiola loves the Premier League. I think he knows it's the best league in the world. I don't think Pep Guardiola will leave. I think he'll stay. I don't think he. I think even if he won a treble, he wouldn't go. Hope Man City lose the league and the Champions League. I love Arsenal, says Logan. I'm going to do a bit of a poll actually. Who's going to win this tie? It will be either or really. Who wins overall? So next week, this week, doesn't matter. Who wins? City or Bayern across the whole tie? I think I can't wait. I can't wait. I think it's so difficult to predict. What's your opinion on John Stones at CDM? He ran the midfield against Liverpool, says Jack Lansley. I don't know what I'm not hesitating for any other reason than I just can't be doing with the whole he's as good as Partey and Casemiro. I don't actually think he's that good, John Stones. I never have. I think he's okay, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people want me to say. I mean, the thing is, I think if you play in a Pep Guardiola system, he tends to buy players that can do numerous things. What I mean is, I could look. Aki and Akanji can play at fullback. Carl Walker can play at centre back. Gundogan can hold the midfield. He can be the number 10. De Bruyne can do the same. I think John Stones can play CDM. I think Diaz could play CDM. I think Aki could play CDM. I think Grealish could play number 10. He can play on the wing. You know, I think Pep, Calvin Phillips, I think could play centre back, box to box, holding midfield or right back. I think Pep acquires players that are footballing intelligent players that they can play multiple positions if needed to. And I think the reason he does that is because he wants his players to be intelligent. So he wants his players to be thinking on the pitch and mastering their role and being clever in their role. So it doesn't surprise me that John Stones can play centre defensive midfielder, because I think a lot of his players can play lots and lots of positions. But I think this is a massively intriguing game. I don't want Man City to win. I'll be completely honest, and that shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. But I think that it's the great unknown. I always say this about PSG and Bayern, and ultimately it does happen a lot. They play in leagues that they dominate, and you get to March and you come up against teams that play in really competitive leagues and they're almost at their peak. It's a little bit like if you're a 100-meter runner and, you know, you do all your training. Like, imagine Usain Bolt when he was the fastest runner in the world, and imagine there's a competitor of his who's American, who every week is racing against really competitive sprinters. But Usain Bolt doesn't. He just, you know, he runs against farmers and stuff like that because, you know, he doesn't want to go and do that, or he can't go and do that. I think that's a little bit like this. Bayern Munich and PSG. Man City are playing in a really competitive Premier League and they're playing really well at the moment. Bayern Munich and PSG, they sometimes hit this stage of the Champions League and it costs them that they don't play in a league that's intense week in, week out. For Man City, there's no step up. You go from the Premier League to this, back to the Premier League to this. For Bayern and PSG, sometimes they have to step up for the Champions League because they're dropping down naturally because of their league. That could be an advantage for Man City, but we'll have to wait and see. I'd love to see Bayern Munich giving them a good game. I really, really would. There's so many good players out there. It's interesting. Who would you say are the favourites? I mean, look, 57% of you have said Bayern are going to win this. I think Bayern win this if they take a result to Munich. If they're down by 2 or 3 goals, it's over. Who is the worst player starting for City, says Pops? I don't think City have a weak player starting for them. That's why they're the best team in England. That's why they're going for 3 Premier League titles in a row. I don't think they have a weak player, really. I think if you had to pick somebody, you would probably say Akanji, Aki, or maybe Grealish. And none of those players are bad players, but I mean, Bernardo Silva, Haaland, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Ederson, Rodri. I mean, they're super players, aren't they? But you know, you're not calling them a bad player. They're fantastic in what they do. But yeah, look, I'm excited about this game. I'm excited about tomorrow night, but I think Real Madrid are very firm favourites against Chelsea. I'm actually going to do a double watch along tomorrow night. I have got Benfica and Inter on as well, but tomorrow night I'll probably pay more attention to Napoli AC Milan, because I think that is really going to be a lot closer than people think. In fact, it could be the tie of the round. But this is the tie of the round. I think Man City against Bayern, Pep against his old club, Tuchel obviously has a bit of rivalry there. Bayern Munich, massive club, massive talent within their team. Man City, massive talent within their team. I nearly said massive club, that would have been a lie. But no, I think I can see Man City winning this. And I personally put Man City as favourites because of that man, Erling Haaland. There's one team on this pitch who've got a deadly goal scorer, and that's Erling Haaland. And sometimes games like this can come down to that. Why is Mane not playing? Why is Mane not playing? They haven't got the fireworks on tonight because they've actually sold it out. They're not doing the fireworks show tonight. What they did is they told everybody that it was an Ed Sheeran concert, and then they cancelled it at the last minute because they knew they could fill it. He's out of form, Mane, at the moment, apparently. Okay. Mark, the Bundesliga has been tougher for Bayern to dominate this season than the Premier League for Man City. City have just had some bad results in the Prem. Moses, thank you very much. I've said it for quite a while that I think this is a transitional season for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. So, even if it is, they're still a bloody good team. And what I mean by that is, I think when you've got Erling Haaland in, there's a few signings that Pep Guardiola's made over the years that I've gone, even as someone who doesn't like Man City, I've sat up and gone, that's interesting. When he spent £100 million on Jack Grealish, I was like, that's interesting. When he spent £60 million on Calvin Phillips, I thought, that's very interesting. But when he bought Erling Haaland, and having seen a lot of Haaland, I was like, well, this is an explosive goal scorer. He's not a link-up player. He's not really a presser. He's just an explosive goal scorer. And I think Man City have had to evolve with him away from where they've been for the last 7-8 years. And yet they're still potentially going to win a treble. But remember what Haaland has said. Two best teams in the world enjoy this game, says Robert. This could be the final. I agree with you, Robert. This could be the final. It won't be, but it could be. But remember what Erling Haaland said. He said, I wasn't bought into Manchester City to win the Premier League because they've already won the Premier League. I was bought to Manchester City for the Champions League. This is what I'm here for. So very, very focused. This club is on this tournament. Look, PSG still haven't won it. Their obsession is the Champions League. This is Manchester City's obsession as well. And we are up and running, even though I haven't got the timer for you. It will be there. When I can find it, there it is. Okay, we're up and running then. So I think for me, the first thing is OneFootball sponsoring our stats carousel. Those stats will update second by second. I'll be very interested to see how possession works. Lovely play by Grealish here and a slip by Upamecano. This could open up really nicely, but a very good bit of interception by Sane against his old club. But Man City having a buoyant start here. De Bruyne goes to the back post. Very good start by Manchester City here. We'll come back to OneFootball in a minute because Man City have got Bayern on the ropes a little bit here. Grealish skipping past two players, and if he'd got his pass right, Bayern would have been outnumbered. Apparently the referee's not very good, says Aimer. But we don't talk about referees, do we, much before a game? But we tend to get to know them within the game. Here's Alphonso Davies, and it's a chance for Bayern to break, and it's a nice ball into Gnabry. He's all on his own. He's got the ball at his feet, but stuck under his feet. Yeah, don't forget, we're sponsored by OneFootball. Stats Carousel will update as it goes round. You can download it for free through the QR code in the top right-hand corner or through the link in the description. Get all your latest breaking football news on the OneFootball app. But if you like your stats, one of the things I really like about OneFootball is our stats are all about possession, shots on target, etc. But OneFootball breaks it down to individual player stats as well, which you can check while the game's ongoing. So download it for free on Apple and Android, OneFootball for that. And it's a good tempo start to this game straight away, isn't it? Loving it. And both teams confident on the ball. Both teams used to dominating possession as well. Bayern fans are very loud, almost like a home game for them, says Alex. Well, Man City aren't used to that, are they? Thomas wants the X factor. Tuchel's going like that. Shock it. Mark Nurse says 42 seconds on the clock and it looks like a classic already. Who's the Muppet saying that? Well, I sort of agree in a way that the tempo's been very good to start off with. I think Pep wants a high tempo because he wants to, when you're at home in the first tie. Look, nobody doesn't want to win the first home game, the home tie, first leg 4-0. Everybody does, because you don't want to go away from home as the underdog. So Man City will want the tempo high here. But fair play, you know what? I said this at the start of the season. Jack Grealish had to have a better season this year than last year. £100 million player, he's got to be involved. And he has been involved a lot more. I remember last April, Manchester City played Champions League games, Premier League games, FA Cup games. I think Jack Grealish played about half an hour across 8 or 9 games. This season, he's starting. That's progress. Mark, I don't like City, but if Haaland does some same next year, should he get the Ballon d'Or? Says Warrior. Yeah, he will do. And Wan says, on a serious note, Mark, what do you think is the main reason why English media diminishes foreign leagues and some foreign players in the Prem? Wan, I think it comes down to the normal reason that people diminish and, are rude about things that are different to them. Ignorance and fear. I think there's an ignorance to foreign leagues in this country. And I think there's a fear of foreign players being better than our players. So we overhype our players to compensate, and we diminish their players to try and make out they're not that good. But some of these players like Rodri on this pitch, Bernardo Silva, Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, if they had a British passport, they'd go down to the greatest players of the last 30 years because that's what they'd do. They'd have a genuine reason to say these players are brilliant. I mean, if we're absolutely honest, Rodri is on a different level to any British CDM. Kevin De Bruyne is on a different level to any British, Mason Mount, Phil Foden. Here's Haaland. He might shoot from there. Wild area to shoot from, but he tried it. Graham says, do you think Grealish is worth 100 million? No. Just look at what people pay for stuff across Europe. Grealish wasn't worth 100 million. Even Jack Grealish knows that. Even Man City know that. That was just the price tag that Villa would accept. He's playing very well at the moment though, Grealish. Found his place in the team, in his best position off that left-hand side. We know he gets a lot of fouls. And it's Man City who are dominating the possession here, which is probably what we expected. But look, Man City will be the favourites, especially at the Etihad. But you look at that front three of Bayern with Gnabry, Coman and Sane, supplemented by Musiala. It's a very mobile front three. And I agree with it. I think when you're playing at the Etihad, Thomas Muller probably doesn't suit the job you're going to want to do here, which is make Man City think. Turn them. Andy Hines says, I'm a big fan. If you could sign one midfielder one winger, who would it be? in the modern game, if I could buy one winger, I don't know, because it's not an area I'm actually thinking that United need to improve in. So I probably haven't even thought that through. I gave him a lot of stick, but I think Dembele in the World Cup was really, really good. What's your opinion on Isaac? Says God. Really good player. I mean, I liked Isaac when he was in Spain. His goal scoring record wasn't brilliant, but I think a lot of that was probably down to the team he was playing for. He comes to the Premier League, which is quicker and more attacking. I think he's going to score goals, and he has. Lovely play by Bernardo Silva. Into De Bruyne. He will whip that cross in, and Gundogan gets up, and it's just over the bar. Thoughts on Evan Ferguson, says Twigs. Fantastic prospect. Really would be very interested to see where he goes after Brighton, because he will go at some point. I hope it's Manchester United. The Felix stat was true, by the way, the other day. 32 assists, but 43 cards, says Common Human. One of the stats that somehow are true. It was just a fun stat to share. That's amazing. That is amazing. I thought it was from this season. Who's the most overrated player at both clubs, says Spencer Hill. I don't watch enough of Bayern to know that who's overrated. Here we go. Bit of a chance for Bayern. Kimmich into Sane. You want to go wide here. It's a lovely. I do like Sane. Has he fulfilled his talent? I don't know, but I do like him. If Matoma was English, he'd be worth 100 million, says Michael Creaney. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. I think Goretzka's a bit overrated, actually. I do agree with that. Andy Hine says Goretzka in silver. I think Goretzka's a little bit overrated. I don't think he's bad, but I don't. People talk about him like he's one of the best midfielders in the world. I don't think he is. I think he's good, but I think he's a bit overrated. In a Man City shirt, who do I think's overrated? I don't think Bernardo Silva's overrated. I think he's had some bad games for Portugal, but in a Man City shirt, I think he's fantastic. I think he's a Barcelona player. I think he'd suit Barca down to the ground. I think Ruben Diaz is a bit overrated, actually. The centre-back. I think everyone was too quick to say he's one of the best centre-backs in the world. I think he's like Goretzka. I think he's a good centre-back. I don't think he's like the world's best centre-back. Good tackle by Kimmich. Fabian Lundberg, thanks for being a member. Wow, interesting first 10 minutes here. Oh, I love Kimmich. I think he's fantastic. Fantastic player. Is Calvin Phillips overrated? I think he's just been over-promoted. I don't think he's a Man City player. I think they probably bought him for the homegrown quota. He's just not good enough for Manchester City. That's why he doesn't play. I don't think it's a surprise that he doesn't play. I think I would have expected him to play a little bit more, but he ain't a Man City player. He would have been a Man United player because our midfield was crap last season. But Calvin Phillips is probably at best the Spurs midfielder. He's not a top 4 midfielder. So I'm not even surprised he doesn't play for Man City. Lovely ball by Kimmich. Back into the box. Kingsley Coman clears it. Man City have still got it. Kimmich goes wide. Alphonso Davies might hit this, and he goes wide with the shot. First real chance of the game. Half a chance. Morgan Smith has just gifted 5 memberships. You're a legend, Morgan. Thank you very much. Time for my first stretch of the day. I'm Batman. Might have a little walk as well. Stretch it out. Go it out. If I was Bayern, I'd be very happy with the first 10 minutes. Man City looked a little bit dangerous in the first minute or so, but Bayern have probably given as much as they've got. Doesn't mean that Man City won't win the game, but at the moment, it's quite an even affair. And I'd be happy with that if I was Bayern, because, as we said before the game, you never know You never know how the balance is going to be. Both very good teams with very good players, but don't play in the same league. You could get a mismatch. Everyone thinks you're going to get that. You could get that where, you know, one of them's way better than the other. That's the exciting thing about European football. I've had a super chat here from United Argentina. Darren Bent on TalkSport is saying Mahrez is better than Beckham. And Hasha says, my dream is to see a midfield of Kimmich and De Jong, says Hasha. Thank you very much. And read some of the Ten Hag book again, says Alec Dowes. Read it. No, I'm not reading it at the moment. Just going back to that, thanks for subscribing. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you're new. We're on the road to 1 million. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. But look, just going back to that, that Darren Bent said about Mahrez. I'm not saying it's an idiotic opinion. I am also a very big fan of Mahrez. And I think TTV Videos has got it right. Mahrez is underrated, but I wouldn't go that far. Exactly what I was going to say. I think Mahrez is fantastic. And, you know, for a Man City player, it's begrudging when you say that, because you don't want to say that about Liverpool or Man City players as a United fan. But, you know, I think Mahrez is brilliant. But to say he's better than David Beckham, no. I mean, that's just recency biased. David Beckham was brilliant. I mean, David Beckham... I think sometimes there's two of my favourite players at Manchester United in my life are Roy Keane and David Beckham. And as time's gone on, they almost get disrespected for two reasons. Some people just think Roy Keane was a thug and a great captain when actually he was a great footballer. And some people think David Beckham was just a model, average footballer with great hair. And both things are wrong. They were both fantastic footballers. Like David Beckham played for Manchester United, Real Madrid, PSG, AC Milan. Like, he was a fantastic footballer. Ridiculous amount of consistency, mentality, technique. So, no, David Beckham would be way ahead of Mahrez, in my opinion. Just a fantastic mentality king footballer as well. And definitely the sort of player you want in your team. Sommer under a bit of pressure from Haaland there. And Man City win the free kick. Mark, couldn't complete my previous super chat. Wanted to know who's your dream midfield with current players, says Hasha. What, in the world? Yeah, Sommer getting caught under possession here and Haaland was on him. It could have been very embarrassing. That just shows you the pace of Haaland there. And Morgan Smith says, hi Mark, love you and the channel. What are your top 3 positions United should prioritise for the summer? Striker, midfielder and centre-back. Rachel Todd, thank you very much for joining the members club. My dream midfield in the world would probably be Casemiro, for Manchester United, Casemiro, De Jong and Bruno. Grealish should get booked for that. He should get booked for that. He's come through the back of the player. You should book him, ref. You should book him. It's gone right through the back of him. That's a yellow card. I'm with D. That's a yellow card from Grealish. I'm sorry. That's because it's at home. That's a ow! It's bang my shin. No yellow card given anyway. Tell you what, I don't think Haaland's really much of a presser, but where he does work as a presser is just his pace. His pace can cause pressure. Mark said Bruno over Kevin De Bruyne. I'm talking about Man United's midfield, you prat. We're not signing Kevin De Bruyne. I was asked what your dream midfield is. So I said Casemiro, Manchester United. De Jong, sign him. And Bruno, Manchester United. We're not going to sign bloody Kevin De Bruyne, are we? Here's Musiala. Nice ball by Sane. Back into Musiala. He's too slow. But Alphonso Davies, good tackle by Akanji. And a throw into Bayern. Are you in the PJs again tonight, Mark? Yeah, well, normally if I'm doing an evening watch along, I have my bath a bit early. So there's no point. I don't like having a bath and then putting your normal clothes back on. So get me pajamas on. See, now, as soon as I say the word bath, I'll start having a yawn. Molten brown. If you know, you know. It's basically bath gel. You put it in, get a few bubbles on the go. Nice smell. Opinions on McKenna and Carrick being nominated for manager of the season, says Alex. Well, Ipswich have done very well in League One. Carrick's done very well in Middlesbrough in the Championship. What you get is, you get these idiots who say because United fans were critical of Solskjaer, McKenna and Carrick, they're wrong because McKenna and Carrick have gone and done well at small clubs. I don't get that mentality at all. Here's Bayern, lovely play, got it completely wrong though, Musiala. Now it's Alphonso Davies into Sane, and they messed up a chance there, Bayern. They should have worked something a little bit better, I think. Carrick and McKenna were way out of their depth at Man United with Solskjaer, and now they're doing what they needed to do. You know, nobody said that they couldn't be coaches of the future, but they weren't ready to be Man United coaches. And you know what? At Manchester United, I'll tell you for free, the training was ridiculed by the players. Like, the standard of training was ridiculed under Solskjaer. So I think fair play to McKenna and Carrick for going to smaller clubs and building their career the right way, because they were way, way too inexperienced for jobs like that. I feel like Tuchel isn't a good fit for Bayern, says Corrupt. Well, he's there. No red wine tonight, Mark. Happy to hear Ben Foster's staying at Wrexham next year. Dropped that exclusive last night. On another note, is Incy coming back on the channel now, says Joshua. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Would you take a world-class player from a rival team if they would come, says Craig. Of course I would. Of course I would. Oh, Hasher says I meant dream midfield, not for United. If I could construct a dream midfield, I wouldn't mind something like Casemiro, Bellingham and De Jong. I think that'd be a nice midfield three. You don't always have to have a 10. Is Paul Ince going to be coming back on the channel again, to Stuart? I don't know. Half-time talk, team of the season. Film Bronx Tale, says ZA. I don't know whether I've watched the Bronx Tale. What's the one that's got Harvey Keitel in it? Is that Mean Streets? I'll tell you what I watched last night. I haven't watched it in years, and I was only going to watch about 10 minutes of it, and I ended up watching it all. The Graduate. What a cracking film that is. Bit arty, but cracking film. City haven't had a chance yet. 20 minutes gone, not really created an opportunity. Tight game. Neither of Bayern, really. But interesting game. Let's just see how we're doing for subscribers. We're only 200 away. I'm on the wrong channel. I'm going to say that's not right. I've got the number wrong. I need to change it. We're on the road to 936. So bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Thank you very much. You could build really good midfielders, couldn't you? Like Jude, Bellingham, says Rick, Chouamini and Camavinga. If you wanted to go for a really young one, yeah. Good cross into the box there. Well defended by Kimmich. You could go for a really experienced one like Modric and Kroos and Casemiro. Get the gang back together. Anyway, corner here for Manchester City. First real look at a goal. Maybe. Plenty of centre-backs in their team. They've gone way over with that one. Grealish will pick it up. Not literally, that would be a handball. Plays it out to Bernardo Silva. Comes back to De Bruyne. Another stray pass. Goes out for a throw-in. Yeah, just as a reminder, by the way, please do subscribe. That's football. You're all very welcome here. It doesn't matter who you support. Daily content. We'll be doing watch-alongs tomorrow night as well. I'll have a look at what we're doing at the weekend in a minute. But there's daily content anyway. You know, we talk about a lot of things. So subscribe and get involved. There's a lot of ideas around the channel that are going to be coming through soon as well. But this should be a goal for Manchester City. Oh, Grealish played it into Haaland. I think he could have took a touch. Lovely, speedy play here. Gundogan finds Grealish. Haaland runs off him. Maybe he did have to take it early, but he didn't connect. Yeah, please do subscribe, by the way, because when we hit 1 million, which could be some point this year, we're going to do a live show. A live That's Football show in a venue in London, which I think would be great. Having took the United Stand on tour, I think a That's Football show would be great. Great. We'll do Premier League team of the season at half-time. I quite like that so far. It is raining in Manchester, by the way, if that's not clear on your TV. So we might see some... That guy says he did take it too early, could have took a touch. We should see some stray passes because it is wet in Manchester, which is not a surprise. And here is Sane, goes wide to Coman. To be fair, Man City's defending has been very good. Bayern have been on the edge of the box a couple of times, but they just can't create the opening. Kimmich in the Prem would be best CDM in the world. I'd love to see Kimmich in the Premier League corrupt. But unfortunately, there's a long history of this where players play for Bayern always. Look at Muller. I think Muller would have been very good in the Premier League. Manuel Neuer would have been good in the Premier League. I mean, there's, give me more. There's loads over the years that have been really good Bayern players that, and they love playing for Bayern. Like, I look, De Ligt going to Bayern from Juventus surprised me. But they're a massive club, Bayern, and even though it's a one-horse race, I mean, I think they've won the title for the last 10 years. Whose left foot and whose right foot would we have, says Langford. We need Goldbridge. Zede, well, I'm happy to do any debate with any of those, but the difference between me and the two names you've mentioned there is that they're scared. I'm not scared of facing them in a football debate, but there's people in this industry who, please listen to me when I do a upload, but I'm terrified of doing a video with Goldbridge. It's true. It's true. Lahm, another one, would have been great in the Prem. See, here's Bayern again on the edge of the Man City box, but they just can't break them down. Kimmich with the cross to the back post, Pavard, and goal kick. What did I have for dinner? I had a vegetarian curry with naan bread and a nice... it was very nice. Very nice, actually. Thank you very much for asking. Let us know what you had for tea. Off topic, says Charlie. Is there anything we can do as supporters to protest the current state of refereeing in the Premier League? It's gone too far. I don't think so, Charlie. I wish we could. Schweinsteiger came to the Premier League too late. I think the way Bayern Munich play football, a lot of their players could come and play in the Prem, and a lot of them have. Mark, would you say Aki is one of the most improved defenders in recent years? I think people forget he used to play for Bournemouth. I remember him at Bournemouth, Sebastian. He had Chelsea links as well, didn't he? I remember him being linked to Manchester United as well at one point. Nucleus had a lovely shepherd's pie. Oh, Sane got away from Akanji. Here it comes. Musiala. Good block. Good block. I think that was Diaz. I'd say Bayern are having the better of it at the moment. They're getting to the edge of the box a lot more. Good performance. Chili con carne. Love it, football. Love it. I love a chili con carne. Mark Ribery was better than Beckham, says I'm all in. Well, Ribery was a very good player, to be fair. What do you do when you wake up? I grab a sock, says Zede. That was a great chance for Musiala, says James. To be fair, he hit it very well. I think it's going in the bottom corner. It's that's a goal. Ruben Diaz, great block. That was going to be a goal from Musiala. I like Sane. I like the way he just dribbles. But Man City are defending well. And now they're going to break with De Bruyne. Goes wide to Grealish. 26 minutes gone. I think this is living up to the hype, isn't it? It looks like it's going to be a cracking game over 2 legs. I don't think Man City at the Allianz are going to be any shrinking violet either. I don't think the toad in the hole. What a win! So, you and Gordon had toad in the hole. Yeah, I don't think the. Oh, what a goal! Oh my God, Rodri has just scored an absolute classic. They've against the run of play. What a goal! What a goal! That is just absolutely befitting of the Champions League. You can't say anything about it. It's just, you could argue that Bayern Munich have had the better balance of the play, but that is simply outstanding from Rodri. He's basically curled it into the top corner from 30 yards out on his left foot. It's not savable. You don't save him. It's just a great goal. You know, it's an absolutely great goal. You can't say anything. He's bent it. Look at the curl on that. It's not going in until the last minute, and it's right in the top. I mean, you can't say anything other than what a great goal. Even Tuchel's like, it's a cracking goal. Fennick's right. It's a good goal. You got to appreciate it. If you don't appreciate that, you don't like football. It's a cracking goal, and it's first blood to Manchester City. And Bayern have got to be careful now. I'd say they've had the better of the game in a very equal game, but you don't want to be going 2-0 down in a game like this. Outstanding goal by Rodri, and those sort of goals as well. Pep will be overjoyed because they haven't had to work for it. It's just a moment of magic, and you've got a goal. My dream midfield would be Keane or Casemiro at 6, Lampard or Gerrard at 8, and Pele or Maradona at 10. Says Jack. Well, I'd go Keane, Gerrard, and Maradona then if I had to go from those. Neuer saves that, says Joshua. Actually, you know what? Sommer was not too far away. But Man City have got the tails up now. Bit of confidence for City. Bayern need to just consolidate now. Next 10 minutes, don't do anything stupid. De Bruyne with the cross. Oh, I tell you what. Bayern are a little bit ragged here. Elijah says no keeper saving that. I think it's a wieldy shot, but when you watch the replay, Sommer's not that far away. Hi Mark, don't think I've ever heard you talk about Darmian. Is that because United never missed him or because he was just so forgettable, says Asif. I liked the idea of Darmian when we bought him, but I don't know what he does now. He wasn't terrible. Good strike from the second best CDM in Manchester, says Ethan. Thank you very much, Ethan. He warms into his bench, says Kyle. He's a hairdresser now, says Ola. I'll tell you what, Pep's desperately trying to get... He's very energetic tonight. He's desperately trying to get this Man City side going. Nice ball down the left-hand side. He will not be offside. Kingsley Coman there. Good play. Good play by Akanji. Back into Afonso Davies. A very good Bayern at getting to this point, edge of the box, but... That's a shit ball by Upamecano. What is he doing there? Now it's with Haaland. Goes to De Bruyne. Grealish is on the back post. Cuts it back. Upamecano's there. As much as I can appreciate great strikes like that goal, I cannot fully enjoy it given all the violations Man City committed to create this team, says Stephen. And J12 says, I don't appreciate this as a City fan. As an Arsenal fan, City can get stuffed. And Rodri can as well, says J12. I don't like City. Obviously, I don't like City. But it was a great goal. I can't argue with that. There's part of me that it doesn't matter what shirt they're wearing as long as it's not against my team. I can appreciate a good goal. Actually, to be fair, I remember, what year was it? Maybe it was 93, 92. I'd guess probably 93. Steve Staunton, Old Trafford. If you know, you know. Just smacked it with his left foot right in the top corner for Aston Villa. Cracking goal. Best goal I've ever seen Man United concede. Wow. There's always someone to blame, isn't there? But Thierry Henry at Highbury against Barthez was pretty good. Saka's goal this season was very good, actually. I appreciated that, even though I didn't want it to happen. But Man City are defending well. This could be a problem that Bayern have. And actually, the relevance of that goal is that maybe that sort of goal is what's going to cause the problems in this game. You know, maybe they're the sort of goals that are going to have to break the deadlock in this game across the two legs. World-class goals. Because Man City are defending very well at the moment. Marley says Upamecano's shit on the ball. Love the tempo, says the Spurs way. Yeah, it's been a great game. Right, watch this now. De Bruyne has got space to put a cross in. Oh, God, Sommer's got to get there. Ooh, referee, great save by Sommer. He actually wasn't going to give the foul. I don't think he was going to give the foul on the keeper. If Sommer hadn't have saved this shot by Gundogan, he wasn't going to give a foul. Are you having a laugh? I mean, Grealish takes him out. Am I missing something here? I mean, he didn't give the foul. Given a bloody corner, so basically Man City would have scored if he hadn't made that save from. So basically Grealish chops the keeper down, and I can't believe it. I can't believe that. It was an incredible save by Sommer, but he was definitely fouled. And like I say, Bayern just need to be a bit careful here. Nice ball out wide. Who's this? It's Sane. All on his left foot, though. Up against Nathan Ake. Kimmich. Great tempo to the game. Bayern cannot afford to concede the second. Good play. Good play by City. Carming says Bayern are so overrated. I think they played well. I don't get that. I think they played well. What's your average breakfast, Mark? I normally have porridge with some banana on it. I think City have played a good game built on a very strong defence. And that's lovely play by Bayern under pressure. I personally think both. I think it's been a really good game, and the only reason City are winning is because they've scored a world-class goal. Apart from that, ridiculously high tempo, good quality, very equal game. Really enjoying it. Nishant says it's a 50-50 game decided by a good goal. Can't take your eyes off it. But I do think City have defended really, really well. John Stones just stepping into the back four every time. Who's your favourite for Champions League? Mine's Madrid, says it's Crossbow. I don't know. I think personally, I think this the winners of this have got a great chance. Jack says always at least one goal you concede you have to applaud for its brilliance. Ronaldo, R9, Henry and Saka's goals over the years I had to applaud, says Jack. Thank you very much, Jack, for your super chat there. On a serious note, Mark, I've done that one from Juan. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. A few people say Milan could win it. I'll tell you what, watch out for Milan against Napoli. Everyone just thinks Napoli are going to cruise it into the final, but Milan beat them 4-0 the other week. Liverpool made an 84 million bid for Jude. Heard it first, says ZA. Well, I tweeted it this morning about Bellingham. I've been told for months that he's going to Liverpool. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't. Doesn't mean he's going there. I'm not saying it's a done deal, but I've been told this for 8 months by 3 different people that he's going to Liverpool, and they've been very confident for a very long time. One thing I do know about Liverpool is that they don't really, their fans aren't really massively about hype when it comes to transfers. So we'll have to wait and see. Kaka making Everett and Hines clash goal of ages, says Chuba. I'll tell you what, though, I'd be surprised if Liverpool got Bellingham for 84 million, considering they wanted 75 offers for Sancho 2 years ago, and Bellingham's better. Favourite goal ever, Van Persie versus Spain for me, says Jay. Favourite goal ever emotionally is probably Joe Cole for England against Sweden. I'm only joking. Well, it's Solskjaer, isn't it? They don't get much better than that. Ryan Giggs in the FA Cup was amazing because we were down to 10 men as well. Just playing for penalties, really. And then, just to... that's definitely my favourite Man United FA Cup goal. Favourite overall goal, Solskjaer for pure emotion. Quality, I thought Van Persie's against Villa was marvellous technique. Same as Scholes against Bradford. Scholes against Villa was amazing as well. Some brilliant counter-attacking goals by United over the years. Arsenal in the Champions League. But Bayern have been very good at making it to the edge of the Man City box, but just not able to carve a chance. Would you start up a team, let your fans play, says ZA? We've done it before. Did it before. It's a lot of work. Kanji with the tackle. Phenom says that was Ed Woodward tax, Mark. Right, need a bit of a stretch out here. I haven't seen the stats going round much. Sorry about that. I'm sure you're seeing them. I've not seen it stop on the stats yet, so I'm just going to see what happens with this corner, and then they're coming round next anyway. So Man City very unlikely to concede from a corner, very good side, but look at that. There you go, 55% possession for Bayern Munich. City have had more shots though. Cross comes in. Good header on the back. Good play. Terrible cross. But City giving up a bit of possession here. Cannot afford to concede the second goal. De Ligt's gone down here. Let's have a look. Can you pick a best 11 with players that haven't played for Man United as EG? Piece of piss. Be easy, wouldn't it? You just put people like Ronaldinho in and Thierry Henry. Pele's goal and escape to victory was very good, Manchester United, yeah. If you want to watch Conference League football on Thursday at 5 o'clock, you could watch Ghent play West Ham. Bloody hell. Even West Ham fans won't watch that. Hi Mark, which Bayern player would you fancy in a United shirt next season, says Sakil. Well, I would love... I think De Ligt might be coming off. Twisted his ankle there. I'd love Kimmich. Tuchel talking to Muller about tactics. I think De Ligt's going to be okay. Well, Man United need a striker. Bayern haven't got one. We need a midfielder who can play the Casemiro role and play box to box. We need a centre back. So I mean, I wouldn't mind De Ligt either. I like Gravenbach, Richie, but you know, if you're taking one Bayern Munich player, you take the best, don't you? I'd take Kimmich. I think Bayern are more than capable of winning this tie over 2 legs, but I think if Man City score the second goal here, I think they're going to find it very difficult because Man City defensively look very good. Jackson says they'll still bottle the final though. Well, it's the semi-final next, isn't it? Oh, played by De Bruyne. The ref's bias, says Sol. Wow, it's flown by this half. Absolutely flown by. Here's Gnabry to Sane. No, it's Coman who's on the right now. On the left. Sane at City was class. He reminded me a lot of Ryan Giggs in his balance. Bayern lack a striker. They used to have a very good one. His name was Lewandowski. Look at the empty seats, Mark. I think it's because it's half time. I think, to be fair, they're probably going for a piss. A lot of people do that. You can't say look at the empty seats in the 44th minute, to be fair. I think if this stayed like this, I don't think it's a terrible result for Bayern. But we've got a long way to go before that happens. Hi Mark, other than Pep, Klopp and Ten Hag, who do you think is the best manager in the Premier League and why, says Ben? Well, you've got Arteta, for obvious reasons. He's top of the league. You've got people like De Zerbi, who's doing a great job at Brighton. Silva at Fulham. Frank at Brentford. Eddie Howe at Newcastle. I think we're blessed with quite a few managers this season who've done fantastically well. Yeah, I think that they'd be the candidates. Thank you, Ben. Hi, did you see Gary Neville laughed live on Sky when presenter was reading out Red Linesman's Greek surname, says Christos? No. I don't know what the context of that is either. Oh, Emery at Villa. Yeah, well, I mean, this is it. Somebody mentioned me Villa earlier. I mean, I've got to apologise for that. That's terrible. Emery's doing a great job. Fantastic. Obviously, he's got to keep it up, but Villa could get European football. It'd be great for them. Gundogan, good last-ditch tackle there by Pavard. Here's Sane, knocks it wide. Still a minute to go of the half. City have just taken up A lot of intelligent positions in this half. Pavard into Sane. He's going to hit it. Wasn't far wide. Decent shot. On this surface, why not? We've seen it go in from Rodri. Decides to hit it. I think Ederson has it covered, but why not? Why not? Bounce it up in front of the keeper on a wet surface. That should be it. Half time. It's going to be 1-0 to Manchester City because of a worldie by Rodri, but we've been blessed by a very, very good game and thoroughly enjoyable. Obviously, I don't want City to score the second goal anyway because I want it to be a close tie across both legs. But it's been great. It's been really, really good. And you can't argue with it. Great goal by Rodri. That's all that separates the team. Let's have a look at the stats there. Possession-wise, Bayern have actually had more. I mentioned this this morning when I was talking about the games. I was intrigued to see who would have more of the ball because Pep loves possession. 45% at home. That doesn't happen very often. But shots on target, 3 for Man City, none for Bayern. I think Man City's defence has been very good at stopping Bayern so far. The only chance I think they would have scored was the block Diaz had on Musiala. Not many corners, not really many shots at all. Very high tempo game where both teams have cancelled each other out, apart from a worldie from Rodri. And that's really the story of the half. And I'm hoping it continues in the second half. Where this is going as a tie, I think the next goal's key. I think if Man City get the second goal, it becomes a very difficult game for Bayern to get back into across both legs. But I think if Bayern get the next goal, or they take a 1-0 to Munich next week, it's very, very much game on. So yeah, very, very interested to see how it pans out. Now, I want to do... somebody said, let's do Premier League team of the season so far. So I want to do it. And we'll see how far we can get going. Really loving the game, by the way. Fantastic game of football so far. But we're going to do Premier League Team of the Season so far. Before we do that, please do subscribe to the channel because we're very close to 936,000. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Please click that. And whilst you're clicking that, please smash the like button and share the video. That would be appreciated because now we're going to do something where we need as many people watching as possible so we can get as bigger people voting as possible. So we're going to do a poll for the goalkeeper of the season up so far. And I want to do... We're going to go through the whole team, and it's probably going to take us a few nights to do this. But I want a bloody pen first. That'd be great. Where's my pen gone? I bet it's that Sebastian. What's he done with that? I can't believe it. Oh, there it is. Got it. So we've got... I need 8 goalkeepers, basically. So we're going to have, obviously, Ramsdale. De Gea's got the most clean sheets in the league, so he's got to be in. I think Alisson's been brilliant this season. And Nick Pope, definitely. Martinez at Villa, I think, has had a very, very good season as well. So I would throw him in. I mean, you've got to sort of put Ederson in, haven't you, as well? We're talking about Premier League goalkeepers here. David Raya has been very, very good. Yeah, let's put him in. And then I just need one more, really. Dean Henderson, you're having a laugh. Kepa, you can jog on. I've got Nick Pope. Pickford in a relegation team? Not for me. I think I'm gonna go with Leno. Go with Leno. So our first quarter-final, we've got 8 candidates for goalkeeper of the season so far. So get ready. This is what we're here for. I love all this. So we're going to start a poll. Goalkeeper of the season. And to be honest, this probably won't change massively now. So first quarter-final is Pope against Martinez of Villa. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. So Pope against Martinez, our first quarter-final. 8 candidates are Pope and Martinez, De Gea, Alisson, Leno, Raya, Edison and Ramsdale. So there we go. Kepa, I think's crap. I think he lets way too many long shots in and he's scared of crosses. Dracula keeper. Off topic to the game, but there's only, we've done that one from Charlie. Thanks for all the super chats tonight, by the way. You can do that through the $sign if you want a shout out or a question you've got to ask. Not been amazing debates tonight, but sometimes we get a really good question that generates debate. Although I quite like the Beckham Mahrez one, I'll give that one a shout out. Cal the Dragon's not an option, unfortunately. Nick Pope is going to win this one, though, surprisingly by how much, because Martinez has had a good season, but we'll give it to Nick Pope. He's got 70% of the vote. No point in dithering around with that one. So we'll go to the next quarter-final for goalkeeper of the season so far. This might generate a little bit more. It's a tough quarter-final, this. It's a little bit like Man City against Bayern. It could be the final. Ramsdale against Edison. Also, Super Chat, have you ever played keeper? If so, were you decent to Sebastian? Didn't play goalkeeper loads, but I've mentioned it a few times. I had goalkeeper coaching in my late teens, so I know a lot about goalkeeping. I mean, I don't know as much as Ben Foster or someone like that, because it's a very specialist position. But I know all about angles and where you should stand, and you know, if you're stood in a certain position, you should know arm lengths on whether it's going in the bottom corner, etc. It's all about your feet position. But yeah, I used to quite like playing in goal. Do you think the trouble with playing in goal is, if you played in goal at school and you were playing against a shit team, it's really boring, and I just wanted to be involved. Do you think Newcastle will get 4th or 3rd? Don't really care, Blade, really. As long as we get 3rd or 4th, I'm not that fussed. Blade, do you think Reece James is a better attacker than Trent? Also, who do you think is the best right back in the league right now, says Yash. I prefer Reece James over Trent. He's a better all-rounder. Ramsdale's beaten Edison. So 2 English goalkeepers going through here into the semi-finals. We're going to go with our 3rd quarter-final. Which is going to be De Gea against Raya. David Raya of Brentford against David De Gea of Manchester United against David Raya of Brentford. David De Gea has got the most clean sheets in the Premier League at the moment. I think that's correct. But get your votes in for that one. English bias is random. Would I have put Ramos? I'd have put Ramsdale through ahead of Edison this season. I think Edison's better distribution-wise, but Ramsdale's made some massive saves. Would I have put Pope through Yeah, I think I would have put Pope ahead of Martinez, despite the fact that Martinez has been brilliant and basically won Argentina the World Cup. But we're talking about Premier League. Yusuf says Raya isn't that good. I think Raya's all right, but I don't think he's really an heir to the David De Gea throne, if I'm being honest. I can't believe they didn't give a foul on Sommer there. And if he hadn't made that save with his foot, it would have been a goal. Like, Grealish clearly fouls him. Weird. De Gea's won this one comfortably. So De Gea goes through to the semi-final. And then our final quarter-final for goalkeeper of the season so far is going to be... And I think he's had a very good season, despite what Liverpool have done. Alisson, and then Leno, who's had a very good season for Fulham. Due to Liverpool is off, he's going to City, says Massam. And Robert Sanchez snubbed, says TJ. Well, just the same as he has been at Brighton. Doesn't start for Brighton. Andrew Grange says, I played the game. Thank you very much for your super chat there. And Alisson is beating Leno by a lot. Red Rotten Tomato says it's tough. Alisson's been very good. I think Alisson, on ability, is the best goalkeeper in the league. But has he been that good this season? Probably not. But I still think he's had a good season. Right, let's close that one and we'll go to the semi-finals. It's going to be an all-English affair here. It's going to be Pope against Ramsdale. Nick Pope, what a season he's had. Ramsdale also had a good season. Oh, God, I'm just going to stretch my back a bit here. I don't know what's wrong with my back today. I think it's because I've been exercising it. We're only 200 subscribers away from 936,000, by the way, so please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome. We have got some breaking news just coming in. Sam's just told me this. You might know him on Twitter. SamC345. He says, for the stream, Liverpool are cooling off their pursuit of Jude Bellingham after deciding the scale of their summer rebuild precludes a move for the England midfielder. And that's coming in from Times Sport. So, that's really interesting. Liverpool backing off in their interest for Jude Bellingham after deciding the scale of their rebuild precludes a move for the England midfielder. You know what that means? It means they don't want to spend the majority of their budget on one player when they need a lot more. And I tell you what, I don't blame Klopp, because if they've got 100 to 200 million pounds to spend, you don't want to spend half of that on one player when they need 4 or 5. But it could mean he's heading to Man City, yes. Or it could mean Real Madrid. But Madrid have got a lot of good midfielders. I'd rather he went to Madrid than Man City. I just think Man City's so soulless. I don't want him to go there. 66% have gone with Ramsdale here. I'll keep it open a little bit because I have seen it come back from 66% before, but it's very unlikely. Pope's got 34% and Ramsdale's got 66%. Just had an update there. Quite a few bits going on tonight. I apologise for doing this. I don't like to do it, but obviously we do run a couple of big channels and it never stops. So you do get information coming in all the time. A lot of people messaging me about that. Do you think Bellingham could come to Manchester United? No. No. So Ramsdale's won that one. Let's go to the final semi-final. Ramsdale's through to the final. And our semi-final, this will be a good one. This will be a good one. You know it. You know it. It's De Gea against Alisson. Get your votes in. Goalkeeper of the season, De Gea or Alisson. I'm going to watch first United game in years. Can't wait for the game Thursday. Hoping for a win, says Jack. Good luck to you, mate. Well, not good. I mean, well done or whatever. Be a cracking game. Cracking game. Casemiro back. Looking forward to that. I think Ramsdale's better than Pope, by the way. I only comment after the event, but yeah, I do think Ramsdale's better than Pope. If I had to pick between the two, I always think that when I'm looking at it, especially with your goalkeeper, which one would I want? Now, the interesting thing with these two is I'm massively biased for De Gea. I think Alisson's better, but we're talking about goalkeeper of the season so far. I wouldn't care about either of these two in goal for me because they're the sort of goalkeepers I want. Mark, please give Rashi a start in FIFA. I beg you, says Rohit. FIFA career mode's going great, actually. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. what a game that was. Champions League quarter-final against Porto. Back tomorrow on Twitch. But back in reality, there goes gravity. I played the game. It's Manchester City coming out here with Bayern Munich for the second half. Glazers make my blood boil. Just go, please, says Rudolph the Red. Thank you very much. 60-40 to De Gea here. It's close. I mean, to be honest, based on goalkeeper of the season, De Gea probably does edge it over Alisson, who's had a horrific season. Yes, De Gea has let a few goals in, 7 against Liverpool, but he's also top clean sheets. So, based on the season, probably about right. But do we think we'll see Mane coming on here? Apparently he's not playing particularly well. Second half's about to kick off. De Bruyne's going to do it. Don't worry, we'll do our final. But please do subscribe. We're only 150 away now from 336, 936. Thanks for subscribing, everyone. Get involved with the channel. Up and running. De Bruyne. There we go. And timer's working, which is great. Third round of bidding announced, Mark, says David. Slow Sports News. Simon, let's all laugh at David. Get the crunchy nut cornflakes out. Simon, look at David. Third round of bidding announced, Mark. We've done a video on the United Stand at 7 o'clock reacting to this news about Manchester United's third round of bidding. Anyway, we're up and running here. Thanks, David. Nice ball by De Gea. Not De Gea. Goretzka into Sane. He's got to whip the cross in, surely. Goes for the shot. Bounces off Ederson. I think he should have put the cross in there. I think Bellingham suits Arsenal's Xhaka role, says Mohammed. Tell me, have Arsenal got the money to buy Jude Bellingham? Because if they did, it'd be a very, very good signing. But I don't think Arsenal get into those conversations, do they? I don't think Arsenal can buy that type of a player. I don't know. Anyway, David De Gea has won this. He's got 60%, which means he goes into the final against Ramsdale for goalkeeper of the season. Get ready to vote. This is the final. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Okay. So, will we get a similar second half where it's Bayern? I mean, if I was Pep, I would do this. I'd say, look, let them have the ball and counter. Because there is a counter there. You can see a really easy counter for Manchester City if they could catch Bayern out. They've got 6 players around 2 Reds in that midfield. Well done, Davies. He's lost it, though. No, he hasn't. Good play by Musiala. Oh, come on, ref. Bernardo Silva there. I mean, I actually think that's sort of a foul in the Premier League. It's disgusting. There's no intent to get the ball. It's I think that's a bad foul, I do. I know it's a yellow, but if that's Casemiro, it's a red. That's Casemiro, that's a red. Dirty, cynical, no attempt to get the ball. It probably isn't a red, but you know what I mean. It's an orange. It's not dangerous. It's just a blatant foul. I tell you what, they're Bayern are passing the ball really well at the moment. Into Sane. Good save by Ederson. They're doing well. And Davies gets a yellow card as well. I didn't see it because I was just thinking about Sane's shot. Good save by Ederson. Let's have a look. Hits it not particularly well. But he did hit it quite well. He hit it into the ground. He didn't get as much power in as he could have done, and that gave Ederson the opportunity to get down. Ramsdale's winning with 54% of the vote, by the way, against David De Gea. Keep your votes coming in. It is the final. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a cracking game. Hi Mark, Evan Ferguson or Maradona, says Jake. What the bloody hell is Upamecano doing? Bloody, what are they doing at the back? Bayern here. City could have killed it. I don't know what Upamecano's doing there. I really do not know. What are Bayern doing, says Fennec? I don't know, Fennec. Crazy. You can't be making mistakes like that here. Upamecano again. And Haaland ended up with a shot which was well blocked by Kimmich. Yeah, we've just spoken about Liverpool and they're cooling their interest in Bellingham, which I think it means it's not going to happen. But that'll be very disappointing to a lot of Liverpool fans, you know. That will be really disappointing to a lot of Liverpool fans because, as I said, I've been told from people very close to Liverpool over the last 8 months that they're confident of getting him. So they obviously have been very confident for a long period and then they've decided, no, we're not. 0-0 between Benfica and Inter Milan, by the way. There is another game going on. It's not one I'm actually keeping an eye on, if I'm being honest. Statistically, quite an equal game there as well. Man City and Bayern's been very equal. But it's been very equal here as well. Benfica and Inter, more or less 50% possession each. Only one shot on target in the whole game, and that's been for them. Actually, it's 1-0 to Inter. Barella's just scored. First shot on target. Shorty says, Mark, top 3 British players ever in your opinion, and do you think Bale gets into the equation? Top 3 British players ever. I mean, I can only do in my lifetime because you've got to put... You're having a conversation about George Best, Sir Bobby Charlton, you know, Dennis Law, Bobby Moore, Duncan Edwards, you know, so many. I mean, even people like Kenny Dalglish and people like that I just didn't watch. So I can only do in my lifetime. I'll have a think about that whilst this. I think City have got a bit of momentum here to get the second goal. Barella for Inter, 51 minutes. I actually had Benfica down to win that tie, so... I'm going to give this to Ramsdale, 53%. It's been stuck on there for a long time. So Ramsdale won your goalkeeper of the season. Well done. 53% against De Gea with 47%. Thick Skin says Rooney, Giggs and Bale. For me, I would definitely have Gascoigne in. I was old enough. So, yeah, I'd definitely put Gascoigne in. Fantastic talent. I thought Chris Waddle was brilliant as well. I mean, I remember when he went to Marseille, he tore it up. He was bloody good at Sheffield Wednesday as well. And that was, you know, towards the end of his career. Yeah, Man City just seem to be getting a bit of a foothold here at the moment. Oh, good shot from distance. Was that Sane? I think the ball might have gone out there. That could have been a very interesting one if it had gone in, because I think the ball went out. Lots of possession for Bayern, but Man City's defence and Ederson have been good for it so far. Lovely little give and goes from Bayern though, possession-wise, they've been very, very good. They do lack probably what Man City have got, a striker. Nice ball into Pavard, he's got to get the cross right, and it goes for a corner. I think Bayern have been the better side, but Man City don't need to be. Who wins in a fight, Klopp or Ten Hag? Says Shady. Oh, I don't know. I think Klopp's a bit bigger than Ten Hag, isn't he? Unless Ten Hag knows like karate or something. And Klopp's always going like that, isn't he? I've spoken about Liverpool being out of the race yet. Another corner. Bayern doing very well. I think on the balance of the game, a draw is the right result, but you can't really say that when Man City are defending well and scored a worldie. But as I say, I can't see Man City conceding from corners. They're very, very good in the air with 4 centre-backs basically on the pitch. Do you think Grimaldo would walk into Manchester United, says Vitor? Oh, Sommer's done very well there. And do you reckon if it stays 1-0, Bayern have got a chance in the second leg? Also, what did you have for dinner? I had biryani. Happy Ramadan, says FU. I had a vegetarian curry with a naan bread and a nice salad and a couple of sauces. It was very nice. I think if Bayern take 1-0 back to Munich, I think they've got a great chance. I think if Man City get the second goal, which I've just got a funny feeling they will, I think it's pretty much pretty much tie over, because I think Man City are capable of going to Germany and not getting beaten by 2 clear goals. But on the balance of this game, I think Bayern have played very, very well. Probably is M&S pants, Mark G, yeah. I just like the way Bayern passed the ball about. Well done by Akanji there. Bernardo Silva. Alphonso Davies has got to be careful. He is on a yellow. Back into Rodri again. Into Gundogan. Into Grealish. He might fancy a nice little ball into Aki. Straight at Sommer. Corner. Good play by Man City there. You've seen the United Stand Twitter, Mark? What about Bellingham? Yeah, I don't see Man United in that race. Gundogan, De Bruyne. What a save by Sommer from Ruben Diaz. I don't know whether it was offside. Yesterday's United show was legendary. Eric Ten Hag book reads as the Lonely Load. I forgot I even got that book out, to be honest. Had Jude chat with a friend who is a Pool fan. He's too much for their budget. If you think back, Klopp hasn't had big money transfer windows. Too much money for one midfielder when they need 2. I agree with it, Darren. I agree with the reasons that Liverpool might be out of it. Daryl says, funny story, growing up, I thought United and Liverpool was the same team because they both wore red. Thought Gerrard was playing for United, says Daryl. No, he didn't win a league. I think Kimmich has gone down injured here. Inter are 2-0 up. I mean, the Italian teams are doing very well, aren't they? Oh, Haaland there on Kimmich. I don't think it's a foul. I think he's just throwing his arm around a little bit. In fact, nothing's going to happen. Aki looks like a Lego character, says Kyle. Okay. Pep's very agitated tonight. This is what it's all about, though, isn't it? That's what it's all about. It's a lovely ball. Edison, sweeper keeper. That's what it's all about there. Lovely ball, but it's quick off his line. You just feel at some point Man City are going to create a chance that's not, because the goal that Man City have scored is it's a world class goal. They don't happen very often. So at some point, I think Man City are going to create the big chance. It's still 1-0 in the Inter game. Sorry. Inter have not scored. Update on Benfica, it's still 1-0 to Inter. But Italian football's doing great. If Inter can get through there, we'll definitely have an Italian team in the final. Because the other one, lovely run by Bernardo Silva, but Alphonso Davies does well. And goes for a throw-in. How do you rate Pep? He creates beautiful football, says Wilmer. I think you love him if he coaches your team. I don't necessarily, and this goes back to Barca and Bayern, so it's not a Man City thing. I think he does create masterpieces, but they're not mine. I prefer Klopp's Liverpool style of football when it works to Pep's. I think Pep's more opera when Klopp's more rock and roll. I look, there's no doubt Pep. I've seen stuff on Pep. I know people who've worked for Pep, and he's unbelievable attention to detail. I mean, Sam Allardyce would turn up to training on a Friday and say, I want you to get stuck in. Pep Guardiola probably spends weeks thinking about a certain style of football. So, there's no doubt that Pep's a great manager, but I don't necessarily find his football that entertaining. Let's put it this way. When he was manager of Barcelona, I hated it. I just found it so hard to watch. Even though it was brilliant, I hated the fact that he wouldn't whip a cross in the box. Jurgen Klopp knew yesterday that Jude Bellingham was not going to Liverpool, says Rachel. Davies is having a bad game, says JD. I think him and Upamecano look a little bit suspect. Maybe the yellow card, I don't know. Maybe get Cancelo on. That's a lovely ball into Haaland by De Bruyne. How many times have we said that this season? Back into Rodri. Pavard's had a good game. Man City again, just having a good few minutes here, Man City. Half an hour to go. No football fill-in this week. No, I don't know what went wrong there. Well, he likes Wrexham things now. I was available, but I don't know. Yeah, City looking good at the moment. Daz says Napoli are going to win it. I think Napoli-Milan is going to be a lot closer than people think. This is probably the best period of the game Man City have had in the entire game, possession-wise and threat-wise. Do you think it's deliberate? Well, there might be a bit of a break on here. Nice ball to Sane. You might want to switch that to the back post with Pavard. Here's Musiala. Back into Kimmich, who's going to shoot from a long way out. If I'm Man City, I'm loving it. I'm loving the amount of long shots that Bayern are going for, because it shows desperation. Now, I don't know what's wrong with De Bruyne here. He's off the pitch. Arsenal fans will be rejoicing. I don't know whether he got caught by a foul, but he's off the pitch here, De Bruyne. So let's have a look. Don't know what happened. Oh, now this could be a problem for Man City. It wasn't a tackle. It was a stretch. ACL gone, says Phil. I mean, I don't want any Arsenal fans praying. That's not how you don't want to win a title like that. Anyway, even if they haven't got De Bruyne, they've still got so many bloody good players, haven't they? Oh, he's all right. De Bruyne is all right. He's all right. Right, De Bruyne is back on now, and he's running freely, so there's no injury there. Injuries could have a massive part to play. You know, we had this with United. Casemiro had been suspended. Eriksen's come back. You think, just get through the Everton game. We've got them two back. Rashford pulls up with a groin strain, which we haven't even had the update on yet. But so, you know, you can think, oh, everything's going to be all right, and then it's not. Everything is going to be all right. Corner to Bayern. 25 minutes to go. I think for the good of the tie, I wouldn't want Man City to score again. I'd like Bayern to equalise, or it stay 1-0 for the second leg, just to make. I think it'd be a cracking second leg if it stays like this. Very evenly matched teams, as you can see from there. Stats Carousel. You can download OneFootball for free, by the way. They sponsor our Stats Carousel. Scan the QR code next to me, next in the top right-hand corner. Corner for Bayern here. In it comes. Headed away. Yeah, get all your latest breaking football news, transfer news on all clubs and all leagues on the OneFootball app. You can download it through the link in the video description as well. They also take the stats down to a more granular level. Our stats are all team-based, but they do it based on players as well. So you can see how players are performing individually, passes, tackles, etc. Musiala's not had a very good game tonight. He's been a bit of a passenger. Just seems a little bit off the pace, and a bad pass from him there. If I was Tuchel, I'd be looking at the substitution there. He's just not been at it. Well, maybe De Bruyne has got an ankle problem. He's back up again. But will you have Incy back on the United show now he's available? Says Muzzy. Well, he might be looking at another job. Bayern looked better under Nagelsmann, says Fred. I don't think the players felt like that. As much as it was a surprise, apparently that it's a much happier club under Thomas Tuchel. I think there was a personality problem there, wasn't there? But we've not had any subs yet, have we? Tuchel doesn't look like he wants to make any either. Although Mane is warming up. And so is Alvarez. I wonder if he's taking De Bruyne off. Yes, he is. Don't think he looks like he wants to go off. So I don't think it was an injury thing. Bit more energy. Not gone down the tunnel or anything, so I don't think De Bruyne is injured. Got to go left there. Nice ball into Davies. Very, very, very easy on the eye team to watch Bayern. The way they pass the ball about. They do just miss and lack that movement in the number 9. It's a lovely ball there, though. Now we've got Koeman. He will whip a cross in, but and Pavard did get his head on it, but he couldn't direct it. And here comes Mane. It's got to be for Gnabry. Thoughts on Maguire saying he hasn't lost since the 2nd or 3rd week of the season? Thoughts on Anthony hate versus Grealish praise? Says AJ. British biased. Jenks, thank you very much. Here's Haaland. Good cross. Silva. Goal. That's it. 2-0. And I think that might be tie over. It's disappointing. It's not for Manchester City, but it's very disappointing for the tie because I don't think 2-0 really reflects the balance of the play. It's brilliant if it's your team, but I don't think it reflects the balance of the play. And it's a shame for the tie in general because I think Bayern would have had a chance in Munich, but I think that's game over, really. You can't knock Man City. They've defended really well. They've scored 2 very legitimate goals, but it comes from defensive errors again, and I guarantee you it's going to come from Upamecano, who is shit. Oh, he's rubbish. It's Upamecano again, isn't it? It's Upamecano. I didn't see how the goal happened. Great cross by Haaland. Good header by Bernardo Silva. But Upamecano's just cost them the Champions League here. He's crap, basically. He can't pass. Liverpool definitely got the better deal with Konate. And, I mean, 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. It is a dangerous scoreline. It's not over for Bayern, but I think it makes it very, very difficult for Bayern now. And I think it might be over. Man City going for the treble. Wow. Long way to go before that happens, but I don't think they've been the better footballing side tonight. I think Man City, Bayern have been the better team in possession, but they've been ruthless. They've defended well, and they've been ruthless when they needed to be. It's a very strong performance from Manchester City. And I did say I sensed that the second goal was coming if they just countered. And look at it, Upamecano again. He's done it again. Here's Gundogan. Dreadful. Upper Maguire. Ethan, don't. Apparently they're singing that at the ground. You're just a French Harry Maguire. It's not on. It's not fair. Well, 20 minutes to go. Bayern need a goal, but to be honest, I'd be more worried about conceding the third. Man City look really, really focused on killing this game off now. I mean, look at the stats. Very equal game, but one team leads 2-0. And the difference for me is that there just isn't a threat up front for Bayern. Did United just dodge a bullet with Upamecano? Martinez in his sleep is better, says Sakin. Look, I remember Upamecano, and I remember thinking he'd be a good signing. And he went to Bayern from Leipzig. So look, Bayern. I think the stream might have just dropped there. Apologies. It's back now. Yeah, his passing game's been dreadful. Just refresh. No, I've not down tools. There's only one watch-along I ever stopped watching, and that was on the 70th minute of the FA Cup final between Arsenal and Chelsea. And I switched it off, and I said, I'm not watching it anymore, because Anthony Taylor ruined it. What's your thoughts on Leeds Crystal Palace game, says Charlie. Stunning. I don't know what Hodgson's done. Reinvented himself in his mid-70s. He's gone all-out attack. Over 30 shots in his first game, 5 goals in his second game. Bloody hell. Great save by Sommer. It could have been 3-0 here. I think this game might be over. This game might be over in the first leg here, because Man City are pushing for 3. I think it's over at 2, but if they get 3, it's definitely over. What is Tuchel playing at, says Snaps. Great save by Sommer. Good header by De Ligt. Cross comes in. Grealish. Haaland. 3-0. It's over. That's a great goal. That's it. It's over. Tie over. Absolutely battered them. I've got to say, since it's gone 2-0, City have smelt blood. And they've never stopped. Well, there's no way John Stones is offside there. Just terrible marking. I don't know who's... I mean, how can you leave Erling Haaland unmarked? Up Meccano again. Fucking hell. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's not a shame if you like Man City, but it's a shame from a tie perspective that it's over in the first leg. It's a bit like Real Madrid against Liverpool, isn't it, at Anfield? But yeah, Bayern were in this game for about 70 minutes, and then they've just completely fell apart. That second goal, I think Tuchel should have... I think somebody said it in the chat at 2-0. Tuchel should have changed it, because Man City have just dominated them. Although here's Gnabry. They've got to get one back. Great defending though. I mean, this is the problem. Man City from Ederson to Haaland have just played really well. Oh, here's Grealish up against Upamecano. Upamecano nearly ran the other way. I think it could be 4. It could be 4. It could be 5 the way it's going. 11 goals in 7 matches for Erling Haaland. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Annoyingly unbelievable, but it was always going to happen. I picked him as my Golden Boot winner at the start of the season. If you know, you know. Oh, for fuck's sake. That Upamecano has got to have put in the worst ever performance I've seen from a centre-back in the Champions League at this stage. It's like he's playing with a blindfold. Just dreadful. Man City, treble incoming. It's a long way to go for that. It's only the quarter-final. And in some ways, if you're an Arsenal fan, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, isn't it? Because, you know, you want them to keep having to play more and more games, I suppose. Well, the Bayern fans have got their scarves out. Cancelo and Muller coming on. I never even knew that Mane came on. Gnabry goes off. Davies goes off. Probably should have took him off 20 minutes ago when he was on the yellow card. His game collapsed. Upamecano's running in the sand, says Seb Watson. I can't believe Cancelo's playing in this game. He's on loan. He's getting booed, Cancelo, as well. Yeah, that was probably not a good idea to bring him on. Yeah, I can't believe he's playing in this game. When you're on loan, you normally can't play against your parent club, could you? $10 to go. I think even with a goal, look at, when you've got Upamecano coming forward, you're in trouble. I think even if Bayern could get a goal back, which I don't think they will, I still think it's over. 3-0 doesn't flatter City either because they've took their goals so well. Should have made the subs 20 minutes ago. I agree with Morgan. I think Tuchel's got this game wrong. How hard is Julian Nagelsmann laughing now? Justice is the lonely loner. Does Cancelo get a medal if Man City win the Champions League? Says After Effector. Probably. And first 2 games under Tuchel for Bayern, out of the Cup and out of Europe. Says Alec. Interesting, isn't it? I've got to say I was stunned when they got rid of Nagelsmann. And I suppose that's my get out of jail, really, because I said that Bayern were my tip to win the Champions League. Well, it's very hard for them to win the Champions League when they change their manager. 2-0 to Inter. Apparently it is 2-0 this time. I think they just had a penalty, didn't they? Bayern are shocking defensively. They always have been, to be fair. I remember against PSG when PSG knocked them out a couple of years ago. They dominated the game. They dominated the chances, and PSG just kept doing their defence. Bayern need experience in defence, says Tony. How about Harry Maguire? I'll tell you what, I think Harry Maguire would have done a better job than Upamecano tonight. I'm not even joking, Tony. I think he would have done. Bayern should go for Harry Kane. I think they're going to go for Osimhen, aren't they? I was reading something about Osimhen. Harry Kane wouldn't go to Bayern Munich. Not many English players leave the Premier League anyway, and he's not going to leave the Premier League when he can break the goal scoring record, so that's never going to happen. We've got to win the FA Cup. City are winning a double, says Sulai. Yeah, I don't want to stop. I'm fed up of this every year, actually, fearing City doing the treble. At some point, they're going to do it, aren't they? Good play by John Stones there. Stopping... Sane. Marvin says Bayern need a goal if they're going to keep this alive. I don't think they're going to get it. I think Man City have defended really well. The only thing, look, if City win a treble, they win a treble. And I think if they win it this year, you've got to say they're not doing it playing Wigan, are they? Arsenal have been bloody brilliant. The Champions League run they've got to go through, Bayern, Real Madrid or Chelsea, and then probably, the final. The FA Cup, they're going to have to play us or Brighton. They both have had a good season. So if City win the treble, I hate it, but it's not like they're going to have it easy. My only problem would be, if City win the treble, I really hope that these charges aren't true, because if they win the treble and then in a couple of years they get done, it doesn't take away the fact that Aguero did what he did, and it doesn't take away the treble. But we're not going to find that out before that, are we? So I'd rather we didn't even know about these charges, to be honest with you. They've done well tonight. I thought Bayern would make a better game of it, and they probably should have made a better game of it. But having said that, you can't question any of Man City's goals. You can't question Man City's defence. I think Bayern are a good side, but Man City have beat them. Forza Inter says OP. Inter says OP. I don't think Osman would leave Napoli for Bayern Munich, says Sebastian. Apparently he wants to come to the Prem, doesn't he? I think he'll come. I think he's going to Chelsea. I think Osman goes to Chelsea. Upamecano again. Unbelievably shit performance. So what's going to happen with Tuchel then, says DJ. I don't know how long his contract is. What a save by Sommer. That could have been 4. Rodri nearly scored 2. He's made a couple of good saves, Sommer, tonight. Decent chance every trophy on offer ends up in Manchester this season one way or another, says David. Haaland wanted a penalty, but he had wrestled Kimmich to the ground first. If I was Bayern, I think I'd take 3-0. I mean, you're going out anyway, but there's a slim chance of a miracle. Pavard's going to get booked here. Grealish must be a very frustrating player to play against, but he was fouled there, to be fair. If Osman goes to Chelsea, I don't ever want to hear we need to get top 4 to track players ever again. Also, Upper Maguire has been diabolical, says Andrew. You know what? Sometimes I think you can say a player's been crap, and they'll be crap 50% of the time. And they'll play some good passes. Upamecano's been shit all game. Like he's been the weak link the whole game. Still think Man City could make it 4. Where's the Bayern defence? Grealish goes with the shot. I don't know what Bayern have been trying to do. They've just, since it went to 2-0, they've just seemed to think, let's not defend, let's try and attack. But they're not attacking, and then they're leaving the defence wide open. Grealish with a shot there, well over the bar. Are you taking over the football feeling until May, says Dylan? No, because I would have done it yesterday if I was doing it. So, no, I think Ben's still going to do it. He just couldn't do it that one time because he was ill. Snap says Bayern have lost the plot here. I think 2-0 was probably always going to happen. It didn't need to be 3, and that's probably killed the tie for them. Well, it has. I think 2 killed the tie. I think 3, it's over. Be interesting to watch it in Bayern. Be interesting to watch it in Munich, but I think City are safe. They don't have a striker. Completely capitulated, and it's definitely an area they're going to have to look at next season. Plenty of strikers available though, so expect Bayern to buy a striker in the summer. I mean, where they'll go, I don't know, but maybe they'll go for a Ramos from Benfica. There's a cross on there to Mane that nobody saw. He does well to get it to Coman. He's going to have to go to Pavard. Goes to Kimmich. Desperately needs something here with 3 minutes to go. City have defended well all night. Cross comes in. Headed away. Still pushing. The goal on the break is there for Man City if they want it, but it comes to Kingsley Coman. Cross is not bad. But Nathan Ake will clear that. Going to do a reaction for this one. I wasn't planning on doing reactions for either Champions League game. I normally do them for Premier League, but no, I don't think it will get many views. Man City beating Bayern. Not that I do everything for views, but I could be in bed 15 minutes earlier watching Made in Chelsea, where I could do a Man City reaction that will get about 50,000 views. Not worth it. I'll get more for a Wrexham game. Pavard's cross straight into the hands of Ederson. Magic Mole says Mark is gutted, City destroying Bayern. Yeah, but is that not what football is? I'm very honest about that. I'd love Bayern to knock Man City out. Yeah, football's about winning and losing, isn't it? It's not about, you don't get everything you want. I'm not gonna lie and pretend and I'm certainly never going to be one of these prats who starts liking Man City because they're good. I don't like Man City. I'm a Man United fan. But I'll tell you what, I can appreciate a team that's played very well, and Man City have done a job on Bayern today. So as much as I don't like it, I can't say it's not fair. And I've got to admit, Man City looking good. Here's Mane, just doesn't have the pace anymore. Into Muller, nothing there. They've been very good at Bayern at getting up to the edge of the box, and then in the final third, they just missed that striker that they don't have. About 20 seconds to go. Bayern need to just produce something crazy here, which I don't think they will. Grealish boots it. 10 seconds to go. This is at home for City yet, and I think the referee's blown already. Has he? Yeah. Okay. 3-0 to Manchester City. Devastatingly effective. Started with a worldie from Rodri, and then obviously Upamecano just went into shit mode, and Man City took advantage of it. But you've got to have the players to do that, and Man City at the moment are in a very, very rich vein of form. I think the tie is over. We'll watch it next week in Munich and see what happens. Look, you get one early goal, things can happen. But Man City, Bayern did dominate the ball, but they can't defend. So I can't see it. I can't see a turnaround here at all. And Man City looking very, very strong in this tournament and in the Premier League and in the FA Cup. I hope we're not looking at the beginning of a treble, but at the moment they're looking very, very good. I personally think ever since those, I've got to say, I said it at the time, and whatever happens with those charges, I think that galvanised Man City. I think when they got those charges given up against them, it's created a them and us siege mentality. And if you look at Man City's results since those charges, they've gone up a level. Mark, start a spin-off channel for pure technical analysis of some games, says GJ. I can't be asked to do that. Nabry was a disgrace, says Louch. Upamecano was the worst. Who was the better player, Aguero or Kane? I probably would have to say Aguero begrudgingly, yes. Thanks everyone for watching. Rodri was man of the match. Thought he was fantastic. The goal set the tone and he ran the game really. Nearly scored with a header as well. Thanks everyone who subscribed tonight, by the way. I can tell you, I don't know whether we did. Oh, we did. We just hit 936,000. Don't forget, tomorrow night, it's Bernabeu, it's Chelsea, Real Madrid, and it's Napoli, AC Milan. We'll be doing a double watch along tomorrow. 2 big games. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Really enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you all in a bit. Take care.